Our journey began in Florida. Together we sailed to the Dominican Republic, where against all odds we accomplished our first major refit. Then, we faced our fears and crossed the Mona Passage. Now, our biggest challenge yet. 500 miles against the wind and current. We'll have to fight for every mile to cross the Caribbean Sea and reach Grenada.
You ready for this?
Ready for this.
Sure?
Are we ever gonna be ready? We got each other. We can do anything.
Lola, hold on to your butt, old girl.
Guys, I think we're getting chased down by a psychedelic beast.
You guys are ready! We'll stay with you and catch footage of you set sail.
Oh my god.
We're only gonna pull up a reef main. It won't be too bad.
I figured, but you'll have a little
Since we have to go forward to reef and unreef our main, and the winds were forecasted to blow 20 to 30, gusting even higher than 30, we've decided to ride the reefed main all the way, taking the slow, steady approach, conserving energy, and doing everything we can to not break the boat. Love you guys.
Love you.
Okay. Our plan for day one is to get as far east as we can. This is what our tacks look like motoring into it with the mainsail. When we pulled out our head sail, our tacks looked more like this. So with limited fuel, we would rely on the motor to get as far east as we could in day one, and hopefully get an angle on our destination and sail the rest of the way. This guy's got the right idea, sailing with the winds and currents, and he even has a heavy wind head sail, something we are lacking. God dang it.
There it goes. What the heck?
Oh, I don't know. Autopilot Garcon is down.
That was a short-lived, like really awesome experience with the autopilot. We had a great 5 hours where Joel was resting and I was just on watch and Garcon was on the wheel, and then something weird happened out of the blue. Joel's guess is that a wire came disconnected or something. We can't figure out what could have possibly gone wrong, but we can't work on it because it's underneath the cockpit. It's where like there's a bunch of stuff in the locker on top of it. So I guess it's just back to hand steering for now.
Trying to hold it in, but I think I'm gonna lose it.
Okay, we grab the wheel.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll be on the wheel. We're riding this tack here, and because the wind shifted slightly northeast, we were able to pull the head sail out and still hold a good course.
What do you think, babe?
These are definitely the strongest winds we've seen so far. Right now, this is probably steady 25, gusting in the 30s. We're doing 5 knots with that tiny bit of sail, making good heading. Going into the night.
Winds are picking up and so are the seas. It's about 10:15. I just did 3 hours and now Joel and I are gonna switch.
Good girl, Lola. Okay, it looks like we made it through a night. Getting hammered though, maybe averaging 2.5 knots.
Ready to go.
Yikes. We're gonna keep going, but not exactly where we thought we'd be. We thought we'd be here by now, but instead, we're more like here. Okay, that was the first time we cut the engine on the trip, mainly because we still have that oil leak and we've ran it for about 18 hours straight and we're getting low on fuel. So we just want to give it a break, cool it down and check the oil level, top the oil off, top the fuel off, take a break from the engine. We're actually holding pretty much the same line we were motor sailing. We have to go a little more north, but not much. And our speed is like 2 knots quicker. We're doing 5.2, and we were doing about 3.5 at the best.
Stay. Good girl. That's your spot, huh?
The seas were relatively calm in the early morning, so I decided to go down below and make some food for Joel and I, because up to this point, we really hadn't been able to eat much at all. But I soon found the heat in the galley combined with the pounding of the waves was making me sick.
Bagel, egg, and cream cheese is normally a favorite, but gosh, Joel and I haven't been able to eat much since we left yesterday at noon. So we're gonna try to get a little breakfast in us, and I gotta get up top pronto because being down here where the hot engine and the hot stove is at, whew, no mere mortal can remain steel-stomached for long, not even me.
I took one bite and swallowed, and then I threw up. Gotta beat this. I'm gonna take my pajama pants out and try to
Get yourself really cold, huh?
try to cool down. How do you like that?
Okay, let's ride that.
It's 11:30 in the morning and we're currently riding this tack. Soon, we will make our move and try to head southeast for Grenada. We were getting close to the Barracuda Bank, and that's gonna have some crazy waves.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know, like it seemed like the wind was shifting.
Well, it seems like we got a little bit of weather rolling in. We hardly have any sails up, so I think we're just gonna leave them out there and see what happens with those big dark clouds.
Come on, we gotta go downstairs. You're gonna get wet. Come on.
The weather rolling in turned out to be a non-event, but it's always good to be prepared.
Wait for it.
No?
Well, this is pretty good sailing, huh, babes?
Pretty great sailing, I'd say.
One awesome thing about having the sails up and no engine, you don't really worry about running over that crabgrass stuff. You just keep holding your course. Oh, ran over some grass. Not gonna get sucked up into the engine. Nope, don't have it on. Won't happen. All good. Nice. Hey, Michael. Michael. Hey, Michael. It's that time. It's 2 a.m. Okay. We've just made it through our second night at sea, and it's getting a little intense now. Autopilot went down day 1. Michael, our dog Lola, and I have not been able to eat much, and we are having a much harder time getting east than we expected.
It's been a challenge and a half. The winds have really picked up, and the sea state did as well. It started when we were going over the Saba banks, And now we're in deep water again, but it's choppy. It's so windy and so choppy. We've been taking waves over the boat so often that the whole cockpit is pretty well soaked. We both have gotten a wave in the face a couple points during the night, so that made it tough. We were only able to hold the wheel for about an hour at a time too, because it was just, it's really intense trying to hold course right now. Are you easting, bro?
Easting's no fun, right? Wow, it's a long ways back to the island, man. Good girl.
Good girl, Lola. Nice job. That's where you want to be, huh?
That's her favorite spot. Give her the shade. Good girl, Lola. When you're alone at the helm for hours, singing is a great way to pass the time.
Some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this.
I am becoming emotional while singing Something Just Like This by the Chainsmokers and Coldplay, as it reminds me that this moment, being scared, uncomfortable, hungry, tired, feeling tiny, and wondering if I'll ever see my family and friends again, is exactly what I wanted. This is our current location as we prepare to tack in order to fight our way a little further east.
Ready? Little baby jib.
All right, baby jib coming about. Hang on, big wave. Man, this is gonna be crazy. All right, here we go. Ideally, you don't want the red winch handle in the winch until you're ready to use it. If you're an experienced sailor, this is probably seriously bothering you. And if you're learning, this isn't correct, but it's working for us. And eventually, we do learn. Ah, another successful tack. So not only are friends Larry and Georgie sending us weather reports, but Holly, and we got one this morning that said from 9 to 3 today the winds are going to shift more from the southeast, which is why we decided to try to tack and go a little northeast, hopefully, you know, use that southeast to get east a little more. Is she drinking anything?
Yeah, she is.
Alright, that's good.
Good. I know you can't see much right now, other than that compass heading, but I'm hoping you can hear the sound of the wind coming through the rigging. This is night number 3. Joel and I reduced the sail twice during my shift, and we're still doing about 6 knots.
We're entering the roughest night of the trip, with average wind speeds of around 30 knots. All right, it's a little past midnight. Just gotta hold strong. Our course begins to banana to the west throughout the night, as the waves build in combination with the currents and the winds. Well, that was certainly a sporty night of sailing. Of the 3 so far, that was definitely the craziest. Mainly, we got the equatorial current taking over, so that's moving west. So not only are we fighting the east wind, but we're fighting a current as well. As it got dark, we weren't able to hold our 160 heading or even 170 because I took a couple big waves over the bow and into the cockpit and just flooded the cockpit. You know, my feet were just in a bunch of water. It took a while to drain them out, and I took a couple of those over and I realized I had to fall off to 180, like dead south at least, and sometimes even more when the big waves came. and had to hit them just perfect or they'd break over and you'd just get soaked and it wasn't good. Taking on water. Ooh. All right, so it's going on 6 a.m. now. Michael and Lola did amazing. And as soon as it's a little bit brighter, we're gonna have to do another tack. Getting hammered. Just can't get east enough. So Holly on the inReach told us that today from noon to 2, the wind should shift a little more southeast. So we're really hoping that happens. We're gonna do another tack. We weren't able to make, when we did a northeast tack, we were basically going north and very slowly with the current and the swell and everything. I don't know, it just wasn't working. You shall not pass. That's what I feel like the ocean is saying to us right now. But what about those birds, man? They are salty, literally. They're floating on there, diving their heads down there, catching fish, just flying around. Looks like they're having a good old time out here. Amazing.
They're coming, golden, I'll follow them, golden, golden rings.
And that, my friends, is the sound of Volvo Penta saving the day. Woo! Gosh, we just couldn't seem to make much headway going on this northeast track, so we finally decided to turn on the engine and, oh, I'm laughing. We got at least an extra knot out of it. Just seems like every 2 inches we gain, we gotta go 1 inch backwards to stay above this current. It's madness. We almost forgot about our secret weapon. Old Volvo.
This trip has been a marathon. So lucky to be with Michael. Just handling it. Whatever comes at us, she's ready.
I'm not always ready.
You're ready. Even when she falls over, hits her head, hits her hip, she's gonna have a few bruises after this trip. She goes down below. She's been smacked around a few times.
It's time to eat. Joel finally ate something. He's been on a liquid diet this whole time, 3 days. Just doing protein shakes and oranges. I think that counts as liquid. And I haven't ate much more than he has, but I've had some more solid food. And today, we're feeling good enough. The appetite is back. He had a tuna wrap, and I'm about to have a bagel, egg, cream cheese, Sammy. And hopefully I won't get sick down here next to the engine on the stove. It's 3 a.m. It's been quite a spirited ride this evening. Joel just took over, and I'm gonna get about an hour of shut-eye before we close out this night. Good morning. That beautiful sunrise means that we are closing in on the end of day 4.
After days of fighting, we're still west of our intended course. But as the course that we're on now intersects before Grenada, we have hope.
We have been at sea for 4 days and are just now entering day 5. After scratching and clawing our way east over the last 4 days, we're hoping we can now take a direct line to our destination. Since our autopilot failed early on day 1, it has been all hands steering. We are tired and maybe going a little crazy, but we're starting to feel hopeful.
Oh my gosh! There's like 20 of them! Woo! Wow. That's the coolest thing. Wow. Oh.
Did it work, babe?
Yeah.
What happened? The plunger.
I don't know, just a bunch of crap in the cockpit got washed down the scupper and I took the biggest wave over the bow. Absolutely drenched. The cockpit was flooded and it wasn't draining out and I was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Stuck my finger down there, I didn't feel anything, but good old mini plunger saves the day.
Got it straightened? Hey. The Dominica channel is eating us alive. We are doing everything we can. We're hitting the turbo button, just trying to get east enough to go south, and we're just getting blown like constantly in the current and everything off course. We just can't do it. Holding up.
Holding up. Yep. Crazy.
What's on your elbow? Looks like you got a
I'm bumped and bruised and scraped and pimpled and just, oh my gosh, my body is taking a beating. Getting off course. What you know about that toe steering? Obviously it's not very good. Alright, that's pretty small.
That's small.
Yeah. Let's work with that. Alright, I'm heading back on course.
Storm jib.
Huh. Whew. That was a big swell.
You guys want to see the sunset? Nah, you guys don't want to see the sunset. Nah, they don't want to see it. Putting it down.
No, we want to see it!
Alright. It's not really setting yet, but I mean, it's getting close. You got this. Amp yourself
So ready. So ready.
up. Are you ready for this, Lola?
I don't know what's going on out there.
Are you yawning, Lola? You're like, oh, this is boring. Are you doing better, sweetie? Oh, you look good. All right, we got your cover on. Hold on to your butt. We're trying to get in, old girl. This crazy cloud just took all of our wind and we were just drifting with the current. So I gave in to Michael. I think she had a good idea, so we started the motor. We said we're gonna run it for 1 hour and assess the situation after that.
It's a beautiful full moon tonight and it seems like we made it through the clouds. Joel held course for about 2 hours with the engine on when we didn't have any wind and he got a little bit rained on. But now we're back to sailing, no motor, holding course, headed into night number 5. And I gotta tell you, sailing with a moon is just, it's absolutely awesome. Guys, the sun's coming up, less than 100 miles to go. We've almost made it. Almost 6 days offshore, no autopilot. Definitely the hardest thing I've ever done. Well, there's no red skies in morning to take any warning from, so that's great. Whoa.
You
Ready?
cool with that?
Yeah.
Just let it go past us.
Yep. We'll just do attack and it'll go past and then we'll be good.
Just let that guy get a little further. We were kind of on an intersecting course there.
Well, good morning.
Yikes, that's a good way to wake up. You think the tomatoes looking strong?
Yeah. I mean, even the little fruits are even bigger than they were. Tomatoes looking okay. But the pepper, I'm not holding out for the pepper.
You shall not pass. Wasn't that Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
He's-
Gandalf.
That's how I felt like we were going against Gandalf.
You shall not pass.
Oh, I'm just gonna try to hold course. I'm not trying to pass. We'll just go southwest. I think there's land over there somewhere. We were like, all right, all in. And the ocean was like, calm. And it's like we had ace queen. We're like, pretty good, ace queen suited. And he had ace king. And we had one out, a queen. We were beat. But maybe we caught a queen on the river. Did we catch a queen on the river? Come on, baby! Queen on the river, queen on the river! We're just now entering the gap between St. Vincent and St. Lucia, which we've been warned has a very strong current. Of course, it's moving west. And I'm expecting any moment to see something happen. According to Larry, we asked him, okay, is there anything we should do when we get in there? He said, reef your sails and grit your teeth. Do the best heading you can, let the current take you, because as you get around to the end of it, the current actually starts to wrap around and it'll help you. So you just let it take you out a little bit west, and supposedly it's gonna help us come back in when we get into the lee of the islands. We're there, we're in that current. We reefed our jib, and the waves built really quickly. It's that feeling I had a couple nights out in the middle where like you can't fight it, you just have to hit the waves the best you can, which is about 190 degrees, and that's all you can do. Wow, you guys, Jacques Mate is sailing her butt off. I've never seen her sail like this before.
Now that is a red sky at night.
What does that mean?
Sailor's delight. I'm pretty delighted right now, aren't you? That's beautiful. Man. I see land! Land ho!
That's great. I don't see it, but I'm glad you do.
Coming in hot, 3 a.m. We're gonna get in though. Joel's head's still in the game, but I'm just about in celebration mode.
Jacques Mate, Cabernet.
Hey, we got Larry on the radio,
That's
baby!
Larry.
Let's go!
Well, good morning there, Cabernet. This is Jacques Mate.
Hey, Jacques Mate, it's great to hear your voice. That's awesome.
So good to hear you guys too. Wow, what a trip.
Yeah, you guys must be exhausted. Anyway, we're all ready for you. Over.
Awesome. We're just 2 miles away.
2 miles away. Okay, we're gonna jump in the dinghy and will be ready for you. We've got some white light will be shining on you there, so we'll see you shortly, over.
Sounds great. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Larry.
You guys are too. Okay, we'll see you too. We'll be standing by here on 7-1.
All right, Shock Matei on 7-1. Oh, we got a welcoming committee. It's 3 a.m. and they're hopping in the dinghy to go help us anchor. I can't believe it. So,
We're on a collision course. Cabernet. Woohoo! Oh, here it is.
is that the chicken?
Oh. 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 It's warm chicken. Chicken and rice tonight. Look at that. And a beer each. We got a stag lager. I feel like we need to celebrate tonight for dinner here. Chicken and rice and a stag lager. Did you earn yourself some chicken, old girl, or what? Who's a good girl? Mm. Yes. You made it. You did so good.
We did it. The three of us and you. You are an integral part of our journey, and we would not be where we are today without the impact you've made in our lives. But the journey is far from over. In fact, we're just getting started.